Greetings, fellow architects. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Over Magic, The Final School. Episode 7, taking a moment to do big picture planning. Right at the start of the stream, I'm going to continue building the common room. As you can see, is that the goal? But what I want to do is I want to talk about sort of school design, like holistically, from a broad point of view. So if we take a look at the dining rooms. The dining rooms here all have, the kitchens. They all have grounded requirements, which means we're going to have to cook on the ground floor. In order to efficiently feed people, it's really convenient to have dining rooms adjacent to kitchens so that when people want to grab food, they don't have to grab food and then run really, really far to sit down and eat it, right? So in this case, what I want to do is I want to have the staff dining room and the common room adjacent to the kitchen. That's going to be ideal, I think. So if we take a look at that, backing up a bit, the common room is eventually going to become a house commons. It's got to be interior, skewed, and lofted. So in that case, I'm planning on redesigning the interior of the school a little bit to accommodate those design concepts. And then likewise, the other type of dining room for the staff is the salle à manger, which is skewed, private, and towered. So private, skewed, and towered is not that hard to do. And we're going to want it close to the kitchen as well. So I was really inefficiently designing stuff last stream, and I am going to take a step back and be like, all right, let's do this whole thing better. Because it was bad, and I would like to make it good. So here's the deal. The common room will be here. I'm putting a double wall here, and I can put a double floor here to force it as interior. And then, on top of all of that, one really important thing for me to have access to, in terms of design, so there's a few tech things that I'm really going to need. I really need support columns, because that gives a lot of flexibility about room design. And then, subsequently, I am really going to need the going places to unlock foundation, as that also gives a lot of design flexibility. So what I'm planning on doing now is just researching the things I need for design flexibility, because I'm really tired of having to constantly redesign. I don't think it's a good use of my time, a good use of your time. So we're going to tackle the problem rather than have to do iterative improvements. I just want to set up the scenario where it's correct the first time. So what I'm planning on doing is combining these two rooms, top and bottom. I am going to, oh, you know what? I don't have the research for it yet. I need the bridge support. So while I don't have the bridge support, I'll put this floor back in. But eventually it's going to be a bridge here connecting these two rooms together, so that will be our common room. And I think what I'd like to do is not only make this the common room, but also plan for it to be the best version of the common room, so that when it comes time, I don't really need to do any redesign work. Alright, break fire. How about you construct this floor so that Matic isn't stuck? And to back things up a little bit further, the reason why we're trying to do the common room is one of Wyland's trials is to dance in a common room by himself. And I'm not going to be able to fulfill that until I get a common room, so that's sort of the push right now. Get a common room so that Wyland actually can do his his trials. So this isn't quite interior yet. Let's see. I'm going to destroy this. Cancel that. Build a wall here. And that should make this interior, I think. It's going to have a weird little cubby hole here, but that's fine. I can live with that for now, and I can always redesign it later. So, taking a look. This is not interior. So what I'm going to do in this case is make the room goal the house commons. And is non-interior because it's adjacent to outside here. Got it. So, the house commons, and that's fine. That actually doesn't set me back at all. The house commons needs to be interior skewed. So skewed means one side is higher than the other. So the fact that it has access to this roof doesn't matter because skewed means I'm going to have an interior roof like this. And then the windows are just going to have to move to accommodate, right? So let's move the windows down to, like, I'll do floor height and then see if I can get away with slightly higher windows later on. And I'm going to make a lot of, like, changes like this all over in really every possible way. I was very rusty last stream, not gonna lie. It had been a while since I had played. I wasn't able to prepare like I normally would because I had a week of my wife being out of town and then a power outage for multiple days, meaning I couldn't do anything, work or anything otherwise, and it made it really tricky to, like, get stuff done. But here I am. Let's catch back up. I logged some time in my own time to make sure that I wasn't, like, derping around here. So here we go. Here's a roof. I believe... Oh, no, that's not going to fulfill skewed. I think that's one not quite high enough. So let's lower the other side just a little bit. That is skewed. Alright, so we'll get the skewed room set up, which is not a requirement for the common room. It's only a requirement for the house commons. But I'm just preparing ahead of time for that. I have gloom incoming. The fog will advance faster. Alright, so now if we take a look, this is skewed, private, pristine. You know what? I just realized it's not going to be interior if I do the roof like this. So let's change this design a little bit yet again. Sorry. Because that won't work for interior. So we're going to have a weird cutout like this. That will be skewed and interior. Because it's not interior if it has a roof. I forgot about that. So this room will be done once I get a bridge, more or less. The other thing is we have a bunch of students that are just about ready to graduate. There we go. So now it is a dorm room. We do have these, like, dead spots here, which are fine. They're like void shroom spawners, if you will. But we have a dorm room, so that's the start of it. And then the next piece of the puzzle is, of course, to make it a common room. So what it's missing for a common room here is lofted, which it will gain once I gain access to this mess hall area, recreation furnishings, and total luxury, and dining tables. No, don't disintegrate. That's not the key I meant to hit. So I'm going to lay out the bedrooms, or the beds rather, a little bit differently, freeing up more room for recreation. And then pretty soon we can also do the graduation, because Sir Thunder needs a day where he dances. Let's actually change his schedule to join Fangface. Fangface is ready to graduate at any point. Wishbringer has a bunch of stuff. So Wishbringer's the furthest from graduation, but we can work on that. Well, that's not true. I guess Wyland's even further. But yes, it is interior. It is not lofted yet. And then the other thing is it's going to need furnishings, which is really not that big of a deal. We'll get that in no time. All right, I was moving the beds around, so yes, I was worried that students were falling asleep on the ground. So I'm fixing that, sending them to bed. And then what I need to do is I need to grab the iron required for more enchantophones. The common room needs to have enchantophones in it. So as you can see, it needs recreation furnishings, which is enchantophones. And I don't have enough iron for that, so that's going to be grabbed from down here in the dungeon. We are a little over halfway to getting a little support, which gives us the arch supports and bridges, and the bridges is going to allow us to also have this be a common room. So it's close to becoming a common room. What I'd like to do is have you guys vote on the next room I build. What room to build next? Apprentice, classroom, staff, bedroom. Those are the only two I want to offer at this point. Pick between those two. So 2.5 minutes to vote on that. And I'm going to sort of curate what I feel is like most important so that you guys are driven to informed choices. All right, before we start the day, let's go have a fog repel ritual. Gloom is already settling over the school, so I need to make sure that we are repelling the fog often, because if we don't, you know, it overtakes us and kills us. And I don't want that. Okay. So Sir Thunder, you want to dance a lot and comfort creatures. Fangface, you're done. Wishbringer, you want to fight and not use potions and charge mana lanterns. And Wylan, you have a lot of requirements that are not yet met. One of which is only gut berries. So, got it. Select groups. Let's add Wylant to his own. And Wylant is only going to eat raw gut berries. He's going to hate it, but it's one of his trials, so be it. He'll piss and moan about it, but that's what he wants. Alright, at the moment, Fangface's learning is not super negative. I could graduate him right now, but you know what? Let's do that. Let's do a graduation. So graduate Fangface, because he's all trialed up and fully trained. We weren't going to. I don't have the ability to make the apprentice classroom for him anyway, so he's got to graduate because there's nowhere else for him to go. I don't intend to hire him. And it looks like you guys, I called that like a few seconds early. After we build the common room, we're going to build a staff bedroom. Alright, so buildings, furniture, and I can work on this like concurrently because they are doing different things. Oh, and we have a fog encroaching. So critical priority, hunt, and then hunt up here will also be critical. Critical everywhere. So it would be ideal if either Wishbringer or Wylant fought this thing. Ideally both, if we wounded enough, because they both have Defensive Duelist and Potion Purist, which are battle trials. Alright, it is over halfway down. Pretty good. So yeah, let's have Wishbringer and Wylant fight it, depending on the types of enemies that are involved. Hallowed ones, which are weak to air. Well, that's a violent skill. Violent. I'm going to give you a potion of rejuvenation before you enter this fight. And then, Wishbringer. Oh, you know what? You have Potion Purist. I'm going to leave you out of this only because this fight looks hard enough. I'm likely to have to use potions. So given that you're Potion Purist, it doesn't really make sense to bring you. What relic did you drop? Oh, fine question. A Fiery Geode, which gives the gift of fire, which is a +1 fire level cap. Fantastic. And thank you for asking, because I would have forgotten. Unfortunately, I cannot attune to it because the geode requires the person to have exuberance affinity, which I don't believe anyone's exuberant. Survivor. Yeah, no one has an exuberance affinity. But it will be very, very useful to hold on to, because at some point we'll find a fire mage that could really benefit from it. Alright, so the Belcher does critical hits against mages with armor, and then the Hallowed ones have like typical attacks and they're weaker to air. I would like to snipe the Belcher out. Ooh, crit. That's not gonna kill. Maybe I'll do a Shield of Wind and an Earth Armor. Come on, please crit. Yay! That was useful. Alright, Violent's gonna get hit a little bit. He'll survive. And we're done. And there is his defensive duelist trial done. Which is defending the above ground from threats. In order to speed up recuperation, Violent, I just want you to drink a potion, and then I'll do the same for Matic. Basically, the time it takes to recover in a bed when you don't have a hospital is a lot longer than it would be just to, like, brew up some extra potions. So there we go. We have the ability to make bridges. I am going to demolish this section, move this bed over, and then build a bridge here, and get this to be a common room. So with the bridge here, people will still be able to enter and exit. That hasn't really changed at all. But these two rooms are then connected, which will allow it to be filling up more requirements. So if we take a look here, in order to become a common room, all we need is a little bit more luxury and the 2 enchantophones. All the other requirements have been met. 3 windows, beds, dining tables, etc. I can delete the wall torches, which are negative luxury, and then work on replacing them with positive luxury stuff. But we're getting closer. So then the other thing we need for this is the iron for the enchantophones. So we'll have to go into the dungeons for that. Which way to go? East, west. You guys can choose. So the stone ruins are the spine. For reference, the stone ruins will terminate just like the floor above it. The spine allows you to like go deeper and deeper. If it is, and that would be east. If it's any difference, I will say, generally speaking, the more you open up the spine, the harder the game gets. So going west is safer, going east is more unsafe. So now we're researching support all the way down for the support columns, which are really handy, and then eventually the foundations. And there's a whole lot of other, like, research that I want to do thereafter. But foundations are going to be really important because you can widen your school, which is just massively helpful. Oh, shoot. Furniture, I totally forgot. I was in the process of making beds here for the staff bedrooms. So this is a bedroom. And, I wanted the other bed ready because my faculty won't really have anywhere to sleep, so I'm going to try to get this constructed quick. Is that where the crystals drop the stuff? So the crystals for the mana lanterns are going to drop where there is, you know, like some sort of lantern down here. So it's not guaranteed to be any one direction. And then crystals can also drop off of the murky crystals out, or the fights that are outside too. Okay, Matic is in this bed, and then Avalka should be in this one. And there we go, we have a proper bedroom. So if we take a look here, here's the different bedrooms. So as far as students go, they all eventually, ideally, want to sleep in a house commons, right? They sleep there, they get 25 conviction, which is huge. For faculty, they want to be in bed chambers. Bed chambers cannot have more than like 3 per bedroom. And they need to be elevated, which means no room or foundation below it. Silent and private. Silent meaning nothing loud around it. No assembly hall, no workshop, no rec room. And the private is only one point of entry with like large windows. What I could potentially do is to try to make this a... If I set the room goal for here as a private quarters, this isn't private because of course it has 2 points of entry. So we'd have to fix that. Oh, you know what? I don't have access to canopy beds, so I'm not going to bother doing that right now. Canopy beds are something you're going to get much later on. So that's probably not something to be approaching, at least for right now. What was the name of the above ground crystals that drop the rugs and other stuff? Oh, so that would be the Bleak Crystals or the Dull or Misties. The Dismals drop Smoke Pearl and the Murkies drop Smoke Pearl. Okay, Sir Thunder just needs to dance some more. Witchbringer needs to get in some fights without potions. And Violent needs to dance here on his own. Doing pretty good. And it looks like we're going to go west. Got it. So we're going to go into the stone ruins for class tomorrow. I did just build the staff bedroom. So I'm going to go back to working on the common room again. Oh, I missed a Misty the last time the fog cleared? Oh, my bad. How much wood do I have? Okay. 380? Got it. So once they eat, we'll send them in. And Wishbringer is going to be the one that fights. So, Wish, come on in. That's not Wish, come on. There we go. And bring a potion. I think... I would like to try to bring in a gifted lightning student, even though we don't necessarily have a lightning orrery yet. Alright, so the Strigoi here gives Restless, which causes insomnia, which persists out of battle if you allow it to stack too high. And then the Furry Might, like, does an AoE nuke, which is annoying. I don't want to get nuked by the Furry Might, but I want the Strigoi to die faster because of this. Oh, and we are. Ooh, I didn't notice. Macho is standing on a conductive, which means lightning attacks do more damage in this position. So that was a huge, unexpected boon. So I'm going on full court press offensive here. just to try to kill these things fast. There we go. This Dragoi is dead. And the Mite is dead. We didn't really get that hurt, and we did get the iron that we're seeking. We also got Mandrake Root for the first time. And then this is a game mechanic called a ward. What will happen here is if you do not recharge the ward, Fog will reclaim the room, and it will spawn more monsters. And it's actually a very useful mechanic for your low-level students to have something to fight. Because low-level monsters are not that common late in the game, so these wards are very useful to allow to respawn when you need easier fights, again, late in the game. So besides the common room, what else do you want me to build? I could build a medical room. I could build the apprentice classroom. Or another staff bedroom. Pick from those three. And I'm still working on the common room, of course. But for that, it will be a little slow going because I need to keep getting iron. I need 50 total iron in order to do it. Alright, so you need one more fight with the Potion Purist, and then not be hungry 4 days in a row, and you're already at 3.9. So Wishbringer is almost graduatable, as is Surf Thunder. So soon it will just be Violent. Alright, we did just get support all the way down, which is really nice. So what this does is, it allows you to have support columns. So like if I wanted to support the roof up here, but not have it be designated a room, you could use these support columns. So like I could build a support column like this, if I had the materials, of course, and it would support the roof above, but not cause this to be a room. Very useful for room design. And then the other one is the outdoor support columns. So if you want to support the you know, the buildings from below, you can do that as well, all the way up, instead of building a wall. I only researched that really so that I could get the foundations, because I really want foundations. I want to be able to control the foundations that I build on the school. So we're working towards that. And it was a prerequisite. Alright, taking a look at everyone's health. Everyone's healthy again, so let's go and fight. This next fight has 60 iron to be grabbed. So that's going to hypothetically allow us to build the common room. Because we'll have enough for all the enchantophones we need. Can I remove that extra appendix on the left in the common room now that I have the bridge? I don't exactly know what you mean. Oh, so the Lantern Keeper is in a nasty spot. And uses lightning magic. That is a problem. Luckily, I have a Nature Mage to fix that. Oh, no, I just zapped it out of existence. Right, because I negated it. Ooh, good crit. Once I'm back to the school's screen, you can point out the question that you had. The top left corner? No, that has to stay. The top left corner is required because it needs to be skewed. It's a requirement of the room. Alright, everyone got a little hurt in this fight. But we survived, we got the iron we needed, and you guys want an apprentice classroom next? Copy. Alright, furniture. So, enchantophones. We'll put one here and one here. And once those are built, if I'm not mistaken, we'll need a little bit of luxury. Because enchantophones themselves don't offer luxury, but basically we're done. So, let's put in a calming rug in between the two enchantophones, and I think that's all the luxury we'll need. Was it already skewed? Well, here, what I'll do is, I know what you're saying, so I will change it. Yeah, it is already, so here is the change you wanted. The problem is it's now adjacent to the outside above. It's not an interior room anymore. So you understand why I had that there, I'm assuming. So what I could do is have more room. Like I could have a cutout that is this small. But I have to block this area here from being included in the boundary of the common room, otherwise it's not a common room. It was there for a separate reason. And there we go, we have a common room. Unfortunately, as a result of this, the common room being a common room just made this austere bedroom a lower quality because it borders a common room, which is noisy, so this is no longer silent. There's a few different ways to fix that. Like, one is we could just build something like this to keep it separated. Which I think I'll do for now. But eventually I'm going to want, like, a better solution that isn't jank. Alright. The common room is almost done, so build an apprentice classroom is my next goal. The game has such bizarre room requirements. That's like 100% by design. For sure. It literally wants it to be wonky. Alright, priority. What I think I'm going to do is emergency priority construction, just to be able to get this stuff done. Because I have a bunch of arch supports that need to get built in order to check this project off the list. So it says that there is unsupported. I suppose that's true. I think I can support it if I do this. But let me get rid of the emergency construction. I'll have to do some tweaks. I could use the interior support columns, but those are really expensive. I could shrink the room one to the left. You know, there's a bunch of solutions to potentially take here. But I think a little bit more support here will increase the support throughout the entire vertical section. And this will become a common room again. Alright, soon we will need to do another fog ritual. It is advancing pretty close. There we go. So now this is supported. Done. And the common room is back to a common room. And it is insulated in such a way that it is not affecting the bedroom above. And then if I wanted to support the roof above that, I could either put a support column here or a wall. I'm going to put a wall because it's cheaper. So we have a common room. And the advantage of this common room is that the conviction for the students that sleep, eat, and recreate in there is much higher. And then I'm just making sure that only students are allowed in this room, because obviously faculty doesn't benefit. And then likewise, over in the conservatory, I am not allowing students because they have a better place to recreate now. So this is staff only. Nimiot, thank you for the resub. House Commons. So if we want this to be the nicest common room, because ultimately that will be the goal. Let's set that up as a room goal, but I won't be able to work on it now. So goal is going to be House Commons. So in order to become a House Commons, I need 3 large windows. And then we have a huge bonus. Large windows are actually, interestingly, not that expensive. But there's different priorities that I'm working on right now. But there is one such large window, which is just Ice Petal's Voice Cap and Spore Cap. So we almost have all the resources we need. We need like 3 more Void Caps and like 7 more Spore Caps. And we have a House Common Room if we want it. Alright, let's talk about apprentice classrooms. So I have researched And this was the plan from last stream. I've researched what is needed for, or I'm about to research what I need for a lightning apprentice. And the lightning apprentice is going to need an advanced classroom, which is a chalkboard, 4 bookshelves, and a learning stone. Or the apprentice teaching station. So probably the apprentice teaching station. I am not trying for a lightning observatory. I'm not going to do that. I'm doing an advanced classroom. What I need for that, however, is like a lot more space. So I'm going to wait to work on the advanced classroom until I have foundations, and then I can actually make the school like wider and whatnot. But what I can do in the meantime is obtain more crucial resources like iron, which is going to be needed to build stuff like that. So there's still like other projects to do to get ready for the advanced classroom, for sure. Why have you not attuned? Because all you ever do is research? Okay, let's fix that. Attune. Higher than research. So we are researching the going places, which is allowing us to unlock foundations, and then we'll get the flashes of brilliance, which is the lightning apprentice orrery. I think it's probably roughly time to summon in a gifted student of lightning type. So let's go ahead and grab a lightning wand. And hope, fingers crossed, that we get a powerful lightning student that can be either joining our staff or replacing Macho. One or the other, I'm not sure which. So if I'm not mistaken, Wishbringer is graduatable. All of his requirements have been met. Sir Thunder is graduatable. All his requirements have been met. So, I think I'll keep them for now, but we ought to have a graduation in just a second. The reason I want to keep them for now is I might as well bring them to this fight. So it's a bunch of furry mites. I'm going to bring some fire because furry mites are weak to fire. And yep, that'll work. Who needs medical rest? Macho? Macho hasn't fully recovered, but he's only missing 14 health. Should be okay. So the stones here will block AoE attacks, and that's all what the furry mites do. One mite down. Yeah, that hurts. Oh, Bane of the Vivified. I cannot cast direct spells, so bringing Sir Thunder was a bad idea. He's literally can't be useful in this fight other than Vengeance, which, you know, wasn't interested in getting. But luckily, the retaliation that I get off of Sir Thunder's Vengeance cast is really useful because the furry mites attack everybody. So having everyone cast Vengeance is actually pretty effective. And there we go. Macho got his butt kicked, but I got a lot of good stuff. I also got a pantry. I am just going to break this pantry down, but a pantry is going to be useful to make a proper kitchen later on. Uh-oh, and I have a corrupted lantern that just appeared. So, I'm going to want to clear that lantern because corrupted lanterns are really terrible for mood and conviction. So, let's suck down some potions to get us back into fighting form. and then get back down there and clear that out, making sure not to bring Sir Thunder because obviously he's, with the current curse that we're under, he's not effective. We'll bring Wish or Wyland, depending on the enemy. So this battle is... doesn't have a specific weakness, elemental weakness. So I'll bring Wyland. And then we'll have another lantern crystal, if we want one of these mana lanterns, which is also very useful for classrooms. Now this classroom here is so close to the mana font, it's not a big deal, but the advanced classroom might not be next to the mana font, so having it a new mana lantern is pretty handy. I also just picked up Bitter Gruel, which I will disable for all. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna leave it enabled for all, except for Wolfkin and Vivified. I'm not cooking it, but I might as well just eat it, if available. Who are we waiting on here? Violent? Because he's waiting on a rejuve potion? I don't feel like he's coming. Is there not one such potion available? Also, if I recall correctly, this box is supposed to... I must have screwed up here. This box was supposed to only have potions? And it clearly has a bunch of everything else but potions. So Breakfire, I'm going to have you high priority haul. I'm going to actually have you critical haul. Because having too much debris on the ground at one time will cause some issues. Hey, Dead Meat Gamer. Thank you for the resub. Because we'll end up with gremlins. And nobody wants gremlins. Are you repairing this? No, don't repair. I wanted you to destroy it. Silly. Violent, are you? Oh my god, you're not even coming. Alright, forget this fight for now. I waited too long. It got stupid. Abort! Abort! I don't think there was a rejuvenation potion available for him to grab. There isn't. So, he literally couldn't do the thing. I told him to go, oh, I don't want Sun Nut Shadows. Or Sun Shadow Nuts. Yeah, so it's not his fault. I told him that he needed to pick up, potions that didn't exist before the fight. So he was like, oh, cool. I'll wait for it. And he just kept waiting, and yeah. No one was brewing it, so. Alright, hauling. In that case, what I'll do is I'll have Breakfire do the alchemy. Brew up some potions, and then we can tackle the fight tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in to Mind Over Magic, the Final School, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow mages.